welcome to Doni Jones Live. I am your neighborhood certified arborist, Doni the Tree Lady.
And I'm just your neighborhood guy, Mardy McFly.
Yes, and I need to start saying your neighborhood arborist and owner of Don's Tree Service.
Or just say Don's Tree Service.
Or just say Don's Tree Service?
Because you sound like Spider-Man, you know, and you wear a lot of red too. Like I'm your neighborhood arborist, and a lot of people don't know what an arborist is.
That's true too.
Right.
But I like saying that I'm an arborist because a lot of people are looking for somebody that knows what they're doing when it comes to the tree care industry. But man, how's your week going?
My week right now, if it was any better, my name would be Doni Jones. Yep. So I'm having a good week, you know.
Yes.
I'm telling a whole lot of lies to a lot of people, so I'm feeling good. No.
Okay, you lost me on that one.
No. Actually, it's been a really good week, though. You know, I'm saying nothing. You know, for me, if I don't have any problems, I ain't got too many bill collectors calling me this week.
Right.
You know, nobody cussed me out at church.
Love it.
You know, so I was like, this is a pretty good week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have no complaints.
Well, I'm feeling good too.
What's going on with you?
Because I am a year older.
You a year older?
I'm a year older. Yes, I am.
When was your birthday? You just had a birthday. Did I miss it?
Yes, you did. It's you know, soon.
That's past
or it's
history.
past now.
Yeah,
Yes, it's past now.
You should have let me know that day.
You didn't give me a card. You didn't think of me.
You should
didn't
have let me know.
You didn't see the text that came through.
You know what? That's just
didn't
like people that
get
die. I don't go to their
invited
funeral
the
if they don't let me know they was going to die soon. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't let me know, I ain't going to change my schedule to come to your funeral. Should let me know. You know, so it's past history, past thing. I'm saying, but happy belated birthday.
Yeah, thank you. I feel really good.
Now, what year is this for you? Would you
51.
51?
Yes, the big 5-1. 5-0 was last year. 5-1 this year.
You know what? I gotta honestly say, you look good for 51.
Thank you.
I don't see no gray up there.
Good.
Or anything.
I pluck. You know what I do? Like when I'm driving, I'm at a stoplight and I see one, I just kind of pluck it.
Are you
But
serious?
for the most part, I don't have a problem getting gray. I don't mind getting gray. My daddy didn't gray like really gray till he was in his mid 60s. He just had salt and pepper. So even if I do get gray, it's not gonna be my whole head until like years.
Look, I am, like I always say, I am blessed that where I get gray at, not too many people see.
Okay, well.
I'm just saying, I'm thankful for that.
On that note.
What? I'm saying, I thank God for the small things, huh?
Does that gray?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. The back and the front, everything down there, just girl.
There's nothing in the back.
You ain't had a hairy booty?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Just
To
like
God
I
be the
set
glory.
my
Hello.
button in some flour.
Welcome to Doni Jones Live.
Ash and just whiteness.
I'm just gonna.
Anyway,
I don't even know. So we have a guest.
today.
I was gonna say.
Yes. And she ain't got no gray either.
She ain't got.
Well, just you know.
Few
Little
dingle
gray.
bells.
Well, anyway, let's tell our audience who we are here talking
Yes.
with. We are talking to an amazing woman. Her name is Marcella Stokes, and she's an amazing woman that is a business strategist. And she specializes in program and strategic management for small businesses that are $1 million and less, correct?
Yes.
And what I love about you is one of her models. So I don't know if it's considered a model, but a way of thinking. She feels that economic and educational empowerment of diverse communities positively impacts social change globally. And
Okay, now what is all that supposed to mean? You just try to sound so educated and everything.
That is her.
Talk to me like I'm a 6-year-old.
That is
baby girl, what do you really do?
I'm gonna beat.
Can you hook a brother up?
I'm gonna beat the wheels.
Without a job or something like that?
We make things happen.
You make
Yes.
things
We make things happen.
Which is what a business strategist does, Marty.
Well, that's what I'm trying to understand, because I got some people in my community right now that they're trying to expand their businesses, because right now they only selling on their block, and they're trying to get some clients on like the other blocks and everything. You know, now they're trying to stay up on the radar. You know, they don't want to deal with no taxes or anything like that. And some, why are you looking at me
deals
like
with
that?
legitimate businesses.
Let's
A
keep
business is a business is a business.
She deals with stuff with an EIN number and a
Yes.
checking account.
Do your president do that?
Ooh,
We can't answer.
Okay, well, all right,
that's a
then
whole nother.
help
Let's
my
talk to
people then.
Marcella.
Yes.
Well, you know, like I said, I make things happen, and so what I stated earlier that I work with businesses that gross under $1 million. But what I prefer is businesses that's having an impact to the community.
Mm-hmm.
As you mentioned earlier, but where are these businesses? What do they do? Who are they?
Right.
They must have a communal impact because communities are comprised of families.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Families are comprised of course, two-headed households or one or whatever, because we have nuclear families nowadays. But the most important, we understand families compose communities, communities creates neighborhoods, and neighborhoods creates cities, municipalities, states, and then they create nations, right?
Gotcha.
Right.
And so understanding that, okay, so we have somebody that's hustling the street that might not have their EIN number.
Right.
Okay, we can take it there.
So yeah.
You know, depending on what they're doing, if they
So
selling
you work
water,
with those kind of people and stuff like that?
Just
if
to
they're
clarify,
selling water.
the person that I was talking about, they cut grass. I don't know what you was thinking about. They landscaping and stuff like that. They doing the neighborhoods.
I'm gonna let you go with that right now.
I like that.
I like how you claim they
that.
cut grass.
They cut grass. Right.
They cut
I don't know what
grass.
else they
Okay,
would be doing.
got it.
So they have to have a purpose. The purpose
Right.
of somebody that's cutting grass is to beautify their community or their home.
That's
Right.
true. That's great.
The way they scale it up is if you're looking for an avenue to generate another stream of revenue of income, then you want to shift your thinking from something that's just let's say altruistic
Right.
to something that's more business focused.
Right.
Okay.
And so yes, I work with those types of people.
Yes.
Long as they grossing less than $1 million cutting grass.
You can work
Right.
with them.
Yeah.
I love it.
And if you're making more than $1 million cutting grass, holla at me. Okay.
They just made
No, but there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Steve Harvey was talking about a good friend of his. I think he's doing like $3 million a year
Cutting grass?
Yes, I've got a friend of mine right now. I know doing $10 million a year cutting grass.
Yes.
Cutting grass. How do you think the grass gets cut on DOT? Those are contracts. Those are big contracts. Big contracts. Now, I want to set the tone a little bit because I know we have a lot of fun on our show.
Oh, yeah, man.
But one of the things that I do like to do is bring content of value.
Yeah.
And so our goal today is to help somebody. In fact, our goal every day is to try to help somebody. So for those of you that are out there listening, that you've got a small business or you've got an idea or a concept, this is a show that you might want to start taking some notes on because this lady as a business strategist can help you go from point A to point B and do it in such a manner to where all your T's are crossed and all your I's are dotted, which is what you want so that you can stay out of legal trouble and all those kind of things.
Yeah, dealing with that. So, if I could ask, really, what would you say is your first step? You know, like if I got a business, legitimate business or whatever, but I am trying to get out there and I am trying to get my stuff, but like a lot of us, raunchy, we ain't got it all together.
Right.
You know, we ain't got a logo, we ain't got no real business structure, no system.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like we're living with hand to mouth in a sense. As soon as we get $10 from a client, we're putting it right back in, or basically we're not doing it the right way. What would you say like the first steps of kind of getting your business out there?
All right, so let me back up because I'm going to look into the camera and I'm going to talk to somebody today. Right?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So you have to get in here in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You're out there. You have a business. You have to have a vision, right? And so the vision could come through, creativity or what have you, but understanding the who, what, when's, where, and why you're doing something makes all the difference. Okay. Now, if you are living from hand to mouth, that could be fixed. I was just talking to Don yesterday about monetizing. Okay, so you're doing, let's say, yard work.
Mm-hmm.
We've already stated that you can make anywhere from $0 to millions of dollars, right? You don't want to be the person making a zero.
right. Come on with your business if it is.
So that's going to require getting a plan, but you can't get a plan if you don't know what the playing field is. You have to do the groundwork. You have to do research to find out, okay, what does cutting grass entail? Do I need to know the different types of grass? I may be going in depth a lot, but I'm just, and I don't mean to make it, too simplistic, but you have to know what your business look like. You have to do that groundwork. You have to also do the research to see who your competition is, who they are. And if you find some competition that you appreciate what they're doing or you feel you can align with them, partnership.
Yeah.
Because like I stated earlier, I talked about communities, I talked about nations, I talked about cities and municipalities. Life is circular, we're all connected. It's universal law. And so understanding that you must connect with others that's doing the same things that you're doing in a manner that you can appreciate. That's the first thing I would tell anybody.
Right.
The second thing, when I say check your heart, understand why you're doing it. If you're just doing it for the money, you may make the money, but what's the reason behind it?
Right.
I always ask that everyone, think about that.
And Marcella, how can people get in contact? Because I want to get a little deeper into this.
Oh, yeah.
How do people get in contact with you? Because we love what you're doing. And also state the name of your business again, because I don't think I really did that properly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a rubric. A rubric. And I chose that name purposely. The E is for the electronic age that we're in, but the rubric is the standard that many things are set on. if you remember older books, you'd see a large letter at the beginning of a paragraph. That's the rubric. That's anchoring it. So I believe in anchoring and being a catalyst.
You are
for growth.
smart, aren't you?
Well,
I mean, I know that as your friend, but I'm sitting there going, okay, she getting ready to go over my head. I can feel it. I can feel it. Go ahead.
Well, I had to think about this. The second thing is self-efficacy and also confidence. You know, I'm not sure what background any of the viewers came from. A lot of people have a lot of stories, and a lot of stories can start wherever they want, wherever they are. But the beautiful thing about time as it goes on is that you could create your own future. Right. So having that efficacy and that self-confidence and networking with others who are doing similar type of things that you are makes all the difference. Because when you may be lagging behind a little bit, you may have, that support network to draw you back in. Right. It could be a community group.
But let me ask you this, just real quick, because you said something a second ago that really stands out to me in a sense, is like doing it not just for the money, because that's why I got married. I just got married because, her father had some money. I knew he was going to die soon, and I was going to get in there and just try.
Hey, you got to do what you have to do.
You got to do what you got to do, but do you have a phone number if they wanted to call you directly real quick?
Yes.
Okay, so my phone number is 404-326-6958.
One more time.
404-326-6958.
Wait, is that the right number? You don't call yourself that often, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
but the last four is my love, MYLV. So
say it again.
404.
Okay, you know what? We're going to do that on the next break. We got to get her phone number together. You listening to Doni Jones Live. I'm Mardy McFly.
And I'm Donnie the Tree Lady.
And we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live. We are here with Marcella Stokes, and she is a business strategist. And then one of the main reasons why I wanted to talk with her is because I know we do appeal to a lot of small businesses.
Yes. Most of our community has small businesses.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And I even look at it like this because, I'm a pastor of a church, and I'm thinking of, like, in a sense, what you do can help churches out too.
Yes, absolutely.
We're a community. Most of us don't make that much money. Yeah. But in a situation like that, would you help companies like that?
Absolutely. Churches serve a very vital purpose in our community. I won't go back through the history, but our community has been able to overcome horrendous situations through the church.
Right.
But churches nowadays are ran like a business also. They want to understand the bottom line so that they can impact their congregation. So yes, by all means, I support churches. Most interestingly enough, I also support a lot of millennial small businesses that graduate in college. They may not see themselves working in the workforce, for the rest of their lives. So they'll have internet businesses that are
But isn't that like one of the fastest growing sectors of entrepreneurship is the millennials?
Yes. The information highway is now the data highway.
Right.
We got the information now. What do we do with the data? So I help them bridge the gap because, managing and creating strategies for businesses, it requires a shift in thinking.
Right.
Well,
what were you going to say?
I was going to ask, do you ever have to be like really real with some of your clients and just say, that's a dumb business or that's a dumb idea? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they just trying to sell, recycled chicken bones. I'm just saying. Do you ever just sit down and say, you know what, that's just the dumbest thing you can think of?
But it's really not, because you know what? Dogs you can't give them the cooked chicken bones because they'll splinter in their stomach.
And they mess up.
Never. I'm not
give your dog chicken bones.
I'm a dream catcher, not a dream snatcher.
I love
Just
it.
because I can't see somebody's vision doesn't mean it's not valid.
Right.
Some of the things that we're doing nowadays, a lot of people probably wouldn't have been able to see or understand it just 30 or 40 years ago.
Wait.
Yes,
So regardless of what they bring to you, you're going to tell them, okay, that's a good idea. If they said, I want to use some reusable toilet tissue, you're going to be like, well, that's a good idea. Let's see what we can do.
We're going to figure out a strategy to make that happen. We're going to research the market to see if it's one out there.
Right.
And if it isn't, we will together come up with a strategy, maybe to shift it a little bit.
Right. But Marcella, I want to get into specifically what you do to help these businesses, but I also feel like a lot of times in order to support a business, it's good to know who the mastermind behind the business is. Tell us a little bit about your story and how you got started doing something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I am professionally a mechanical engineer. I was classically trained at Drexel University in Philadelphia. My background is
classically trained as an engineer?
Yes, mechanical engineering and mechanics. So my background is in nanotechnology, all types of systems analysis. In addition to that, mechanical systems, and last but not least, materials evaluation. Just evaluate different types of materials.
So you like gonna be like the next Iron Man, like the She-Man or something like with the nanotechnology and all that kind of stuff?
No.
I love Iron Man.
Right, he got the nanotechnology, and I think that's with the Transformers and stuff. So you can be able to do all that kind of stuff too.
Well, I do it with my mind.
Okay, that works.
Because the energy is much more powerful than any physical energy that we have here on this planet. Right?
Okay.
And so that's just one end. I've always been curious. I grew up in poverty, wonderful single parent household where I got to just experience and understand a lot about life. Right. And I knew that, like water sees at its own level, right? Mm-hmm. But can you have an above water thinking?
Oh, I love that.
That's
I love
the question.
I like that.
And so that's where the strategy comes in, like prior to getting into engineering, I served on the front lines of Kuwait, with the U.S. Army, and I currently work
Thank you for serving our country.
Well, I was GIJ.
Oh, see, I was close.
So you get a different type of understanding from that, and from all of that, I've kind of evolved into this. This is something that I do in addition to working a regular job. Mm-hmm. However, I've helped our company make millions of dollars with $1.2 billion industry, and this is what we net. And that's great.
These are the kind of people we bring into y'all.
This is great. Don't get me wrong. But if you have that level of brain power and you're doing it for someone else, you may be able to do it to build a legacy.
That's right.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what you're doing.
It kind of happened by mistake. I started out as a project engineer, moved more strongly into mechanical engineering, reverse engineering. One of my passions is mentoring young people in elementary, high school, middle school, grown people. I've mentored veterans, but the thing that I teach is structured thinking. And that is, we're taught to think through rote memory a lot of times. But the 21st century... Rote.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to
What does rote memory mean?
Just being told something and regurgitating it.
Okay, got it. That's how most people are taught. Okay, got it.
Not really critically thinking about why we think of this and who, what, when, where, and why, and what, and who said who to what, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. So in your business, you help people become critical thinkers.
Yes, and think of it in a different way because brain power is cumulative, like all five of us in the room together. And if we worked on one thing, it's nothing that we couldn't do together, right?
That is true.
That's true.
So you have to be the catalyst to start that flow.
Right.
The second thing is our children are growing up in the 21st century and they have to have a 21st century mindset. Mm-hmm. And the 21st century requires not only for our children but for our businesses to think technologically, to think almost robotic to a degree. Is not so much having so much emotionalism tied to what you're doing as a business. You have to do steps.
Right.
Like we said, you have to get an EIN number. You have to have a business plan.
Right.
You have to think strategy not only from a marketing perspective, but from an economic perspective. Right. But what I'm asking is that you think of it from a societal perspective also. Right. What impact you're having on society.
Right. Well, I want to ask you about that because with you being a business strategist, I do know that you do like to implement systems. Yeah. Okay. And you like to put together structure. But I do have a question because I am an entrepreneur and I've been an entrepreneur for many years. One of the things that bothers me, I will say, about some of the people that I've met in the past that do have that, they have the ability to do critical thinking. And in fact, I'm actually thinking of a particular person right now, an amazing critical thinker, super smart, started a small business and has all the right parts in place, but is still waiting for it to be perfect before they jump out in the marketplace. And I guess what that makes me think of is, and this is not necessarily a great example, but my dad, okay? My dad was not a very good critical thinker, but he's been self-employed his whole life, okay? He's made some bad decisions, he's made some good decisions, but he was still able to feed a family, okay? Whereas we had people in our community that also started a tree service, similar to my dad did. They had all the right trucks, they had all the right equipment, they had all the right strategy, and went out of business because they did not do the work that you need to do to keep things going. Like you got to pull the trigger, or they would pull the trigger and then overanalyze. Whereas my dad would be like, "Listen, I don't know, but I got to feed 6 kids. We gonna go get some work done. I don't know where we gonna get some work, and it's winter right now. We got to make it happen." So I developed a lot of that energy. Where, listen, I don't know how we're gonna do this, but we're gonna get it done. But I've attracted friends into my life that are more strategic thinkers, and I watch them have the perfect package for their businesses, but they ain't got no customers yet. What can you do as a business strategist to where you can help people have both? Help people like me that, okay, we have a business, but I've hit my head up against a brick wall because I did a lot of stupid stuff because I didn't have a strategy. I just threw spaghetti. What can you do to help somebody like my friend that has a strategy but needs to pull the trigger and get some customers?
Pull that trigger. Okay, so first thing I want to say is the hunger's real.
Right.
And that's something that's developed. I don't know if it's innate, but definitely life experience will give it to you. Well, your motivator. That's why I spoke earlier about why are you doing it? What's your motivation? If your motivation is money, when the money go or come, that's based on outside. What's your internal motivation?
Right.
So I wanted to go over really like a system I have.
Right.
Because I talked a lot about, things that you can't see that's not tangible. Mm-hmm. So, the first thing I do is just sit down, have a discussion, see what we're trying to do here, see what you already have. Mm-hmm. You have to have that dialogue. The second thing is, we'll put a plan together based on what you say, but also I will suggest, different tactics and techniques that you can use to bring that plan more into fruition.
Right.
So if they already have it set, like a set system, but they scared to pull the trigger, then we'll talk about the other, I call it unseen and unspoken motivators. What could it be? Could it be self-esteem issues? Could it be fear?
So you get into all of that with them?
Right. And I'm going to almost ask, are you more just like a life coach for businesses in a sense?
Ooh. Part of it is a life coach because what I strive to do is breathe life into businesses that may already have life, but we can always breathe more life into.
Right, absolutely.
They may need some CPR. They may need some strategy type of CPR. That's what I'm here. I'm here to add. The system that I'll use that you'll find on the website, www.erubrick.com, erubrick.com, is that, everything starts in imagination. You think of it. You breathe it into life. You write it down, and that's all a part of putting a business together. But then you have your intuition. What's going on with your intuition that you're scared to pull the trigger? Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that. Also, what intellect do you have? And if you don't have the necessary intellect within your body and your spirit, then we will try to identify intellect that you may have surrounding
you. Like maybe connecting with another person.
Yes.
I gotta ask a truthful question too. We might have to just answer this on the other side, or you might can answer it off air if it's one of those, touchy subjects. But do you charge like church? You get 10% of what they bring in after you help them, move to the next level. You can answer it now.
I'll answer right now.
Uh-huh.
I've done two things. One, I've taught. The currency for living is given.
Right.
That's why we're here. So, I might have mentioned that I do have millennials, young people that I work for.
Mm-hmm.
I work for them. I serve them. I don't charge them anything because they're coming up. They're trying to develop.
Well, my church is kind of classified as a millennial church. It's still coming up. It still got some challenges and all that stuff. So they still learning. So you work with something out like that.
I have put together future packages where I would want a certain percentage of monies made on top of past money.
Gotcha.
So if you're grossing let's just put $100 out there. You're grossing $100. But with me, you've seen substantial levels of growth. We'll set up a system where we'll look at where you are, and we will compare through analysis what my system is bringing to your business.
Well, what we need to bring to your business right now is a commercial.
Yeah.
How can people get in contact with you real quick?
Okay, well, erubrick.com, www.erubrick.com, ERUBRICK. The phone number is 404-326-596958.
You know what? You and your number. We tried. No, let it go. You're listening to Doni Jones Live with Mardy McFly and Doni Jones.
Yes,
we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Doni Jones Live. I am certified arborist and owner of Don's Tree Service, Doni the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Mardy McFly.
And we are here talking to Marcella Stokes, and she is a business strategist. And I think she actually knows her telephone number now.
Yes, I do.
Yes. All right. So give them the right number, okay?
Okay. 404-326-6958. Now, the 6958 spells my love, MYLV. Okay?
How does that spell love?
It really does. So it's 404-326-MY-LOVE, MYLV. That's the best.
Okay, is it spelled like we usually spell love?
No, MYLV.
It's millennial love.
Yeah, millennial love. Yeah,
it's millennial love.
You just messed the whole number up. People, no.
Sam was over here rolling.
Yeah, just say the number, okay? Just say the number because you're going to mess some people up.
404-326-6958.
I love this.
m.stokes@erubric.com.
The number spelled millennial love. That's a little bit too.
No, it doesn't spell millennial love. You know how millennials are.
Yeah,
I hate even using that word.
Yeah,
because you know what? I just like people are people. I don't care about age groups.
Just younger people.
But you know they text. You know, so.
And I hate when they text like that too. It's like you got to fill in the blank. Because I ain't gonna say my wife is a millennial, but she's younger than me. I said like that.
And I thought so. I was like, how old is she?
I like to keep them young.
Okay.
Just a couple of years, I got to trade her back in. I got to get a newer version. But no, they'll text stuff like LMOIF, and I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? You know, and I got to call them and say, "What? I don't understand.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Laughing my butt off or something like that. It's like,
yeah.
You know, I don't like that kind of stuff. Just write it all the way out.
So it's 69. The last four is 6958.
Okay, yeah. Just give the whole number.
Okay.
Just the numbers. Just the numbers.
Are we still on the telephone?
404-326-6958.
She don't try it 4 times already.
6958.
Yeah. And that's the number to get in contact with. If you got a business that's struggling, that ain't doing really good at all, she said that she can help you out maybe with a little love offering.
Yeah.
You know, just
I wouldn't call it a little love because we don't know what her fees are.
Well, she said if you're a millennial and younger.
She did not say if you're a millennial. If she said some millennials,
it all depends on what
done.
it is. Like for engineering, structure thinking, things that propel them to the next level of life, there's no price you could put on that. But if and usually it takes a couple of sessions. But you can find a price,
right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've had short-term clients and long-term clients, you know, where I sit down and we'll develop a plan. Sometimes it could be as simple as just even high school students creating a strategic plan, honestly. And this is more along the lines of what I do when I'm tying back to the community.
Okay.
Creating opportunities for them to move into a different realm of understanding in college. And we want to support, I say STEM, but I've since incorporated the art, the creativity aspect, because you need that when.
Do you know Nanette Shillingford? She's really big into STEM for kids, and so she's over at DeKalb, Academy of Technology and stuff. Well, anyway, I would love for you guys to connect because I love what you're doing. But you know, going back to your childhood a little bit, you must have had parents or a mom that really supported technology because. We usually, I'm going to do one of Marty's little things. We usually don't come out, you know, as focused on.
She said that she had a equal family. Like you had a mother and father in the household?
Well, I had a mother.
Okay, but you said she didn't lie to you, right?
No, lie.
Or was that the last show?
That was the last show, dude.
Sometimes I get things mixed up. You know, I know things that stick out to me. Like somebody said they didn't lie, you know, growing up or something like that. I was like, it was a family or something. I'm sorry, you know, it's been a long day. I ain't getting my coffee.
So I say that to say that it's important for us to support children in this science.
I was a strange child.
Okay.
I grew up in the hood, basically, what people would term the hood, and I was strange. I mean, some of the toys I wanted was scientific sets where I could do experiments.
I love that.
She supported that in me.
I love that.
So I've always had inquisitivity. Still.
She was not weird. I do not like that word.
Okay,
I'm
just
okay
don't
with
listen
that
when I use that word.
No, I'm just saying because when I was a kid, like right now, I work with trucks and equipment. I love playing with Tonka trucks. You
normal
know,
is boring.
It's just like normal is boring. Exactly. I like playing with boys, and I like playing with Tonka trucks and
dirt.
Yeah, I still like playing with boys.
I still do.
I do. Yes, I do.
See, this wrong. This nasty.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just saying, you know, when kids are growing up and you play with the different, you know.
Yeah, they call you weird, but you're really not. You're just being who. I think that a lot of times, if we look at what we did as kids. We can get a clue to what our gift is and where God is leading us.
When you go into, because a lot of those kids that talk about you during those times are not really doing a whole lot now.
Ooh, preach!
You know, and that's
a sermon right there.
Because a lot of people talked about me. Well, some of them are doing good, but you know, I'm just doing better than me. But they did talk about me, but they had valid reasons. I was just
look at the difference you're making in people's lives. You're impacting lives right now, whether it's through this show, whether it's through your church, whether it's through your ministry, whether it's through your music. You are making a difference in people's lives. And some of those people that have so much to say, don't realize they were part of the story of helping you get over. So
yeah, and I would say it works both ways, positively and negatively.
Yeah.
Who I am, the positive sides and the negative sides. My family is a part of that.
Right.
The people that I came up with. But it ain't about me.
Right, it's about you, Marcella.
But it's real. I'm going to segue. I'm going to piggyback off of what you stated. Sometimes, at times when you're displaying your dream, and everybody's not going to get it.
Right.
But long as you get it and keep it in the forefront of your mind.
Right.
And align yourself with people, that's going to be fuel for your fire.
That's right.
If someone is telling you that, hey, you're a loser, your dream it doesn't even make any sense, nobody would want it, then that wouldn't be the person to talk to.
That's right.
And so that's why I mentioned earlier, networking is so important.
It's very important.
Tapping into the fuel that you're going to need to propel yourself forward.
I want to ask you, in your coming up, did you have a mentor that helped guide you to like where you're at now, in a sense? Because I'm saying it's one thing for one teacher, what you were just saying, and this is a true story. I did want to be an electronics engineer, and one of my teachers in high school, because she didn't understand what it was, she was like, "Wow, why would you want to work on pencil sharpeners? I think you have so much more than that." Because she didn't know what electrical engineer was, and it kind of hurt my little, my dreams of doing that. But if I had a different kind of mentor in my life, then I might have kind of pushed me to another place. But everything that you've done, you said you've been on the front lines, you've done this, you've done that. Did you have a mentor in your life that kind of pushed you?
I would say sometimes criticism is motivation, number one. I had a gentleman, I had led, I was a part of, and I'm still supporting the National Society of Black Engineers. I formed one of the first, let's just say, junior college chapters to create a conduit for success to the next level, which would have been a 4-year university.
Right.
I started out in the Community College of Philadelphia, and I stood on a let's say the shoulders of giants. We had doctors there who didn't have to be there. They were coveted and wanted all over the world, but they chose to stay with non-traditional students from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. So yes, I've had people tell me, well, you'll never be an engineer. Maybe you should think about being a technologist. Okay, it's nothing wrong with being a technologist. But when you spend so many hours, days, and seconds of your life force doing something, you have to stand firm in the face of adversity.
Yeah.
So I just rejected it. But I've also had many, many mentors. Some of them, quite frankly, children, but younger than me, that through their exuberance and innocence in life has helped me understand some things about life and given me motivation.
Right.
My mom was my first mentor.
Okay.
Of course, through the church, you meet many different people. You have to have a grounding in something.
Right. You have to have a community.
A community that grounds you.
Yes. Well, the other beautiful thing, which is a reason why I wanted you on the show, is because I do like to highlight people that are actually successful in their own right. So obviously you're successful in your job. Obviously you have a successful as a business strategist. But the other thing that, I wanted to tap into a little bit, because I think it's about ownership and it's about building a legacy, is the fact that you also own Airbnbs. Yeah. So you are a businesswoman, you're a strategic thinker, and then you called me the other day because we're like brainstorming on ideas because you want to continue to grow your platform and grow more businesses. How do you teach somebody? Well, first of all, how did you become so self-aware to jump into these different areas and become successful at it? How did you not get stopped by thinking, oh, I've already got a job, how am I going to do all these other things? Yeah. Like, what happened? How did that happen?
Well, I want to live extraordinary life, extraordinary, and that requires a different way of thinking, right? Mm-hmm. And so, nobody before me had been doing this. I never met any engineers, but I've always known that when I mentioned the above water thinking, and not thinking at the same level of the water that I'm in, I don't know. I would have to just say God must have gave me the vision to see beyond my current circumstances. I would have to say that. But also seeing examples of people doing it. The first thing with engineering, we make pretty good money. I'm not.
You make a lot of money. I'm just saying, she makes some money. And she has her Airbnbs.
I'm single.
And she's
I'm single with no children, so there's other tax brackets. So understand how the taxes are set up. You want to have tax write-offs. You could do that as an entrepreneur.
Right.
That's the second thing. Just kind of thinking, what's in my pocket and how can I get this out of my pocket?
Right.
Kind of led me to that. The Airbnb technology gave us that. A millennial mindset gave us that. Why not capitalize off of it?
Right.
So it was just exposure to the information and being open enough to receive it, and also talking and networking with people that are doing things that I'm not doing.
Right.
Yeah, so I think sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just think that she just kind of wrapped it all up in her keys to success.
Yeah.
You know, not being married with no kids.
That's Marty.
Wow. I'm saying if I could just write a book on that, you know, just the freedom that you can just get up and go like you want to.
I don't
and come
think
home.
that's what it. I think it has something to do with
that has a lot to do with
I'm
it.
talking
You know,
about taxes.
I was doing a whole lot before I got married. As soon as I got married, now I got like
Marty,
one job,
I think
maybe two.
I
you know.
picked up her keys to success was that she did have mentors.
Yeah, that's
she
a
had
good
a
one.
mother that believed in her.
Right, she ain't
got
got
an
nobody
education.
at home. What time you coming home?
And she had an
You
education.
got another meeting tonight.
And then,
You know,
and then she had.
let that be the last one this
And then
week.
she learned to think outside the box.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know, and you know, think about So I
Well,
think
look,
those are.
I take the key. I'm writing them down. Baby, we're going to have to talk when I get home.
Oh my
If you're
goodness!
listening.
You gonna make this man go home and divorce his
Hey,
wife?
I'm thinking about the future past my circumstances.
We are here talking to Marcella Stokes. She's a business strategist. She's an entrepreneur. She's also a
And she's
owner
a
of
marriage counselor
Airbnbs.
too. But you listen to Doni Jones. I'm Mardy McFly with the beautiful Doni Jones.
Yes.
And we'll be right back.
All right. Welcome back to Doni Jones Live. We are having a good time with Mardy McFly.
Oh, yes. And Miss Marcellus, right? Ms.
That's right.
Because I almost wanted to say muscles. You know, because it's
I
just.
thought you were going to say Marcellus, like Wynton Marcellus.
Well, you know, I thought about food. I don't know, muscles.
Are you hungry?
I'm getting there. It is. I am. But, you know, no, we are getting great information right here about entrepreneurship, how to grow your business and everything, and how to, I would say, you know, eliminate attractive distractions like marriage or kids, you know, but being focused on what you're trying to do with your business.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
know.
Can we go back to that example? Because I think it's a real life example of your friend with the grass cutting business.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just use that as like a test, right?
Okay, sure.
He's got his grass cutting business.
Yes.
And he got
It's
that
not
good
quite.
grass.
Okay.
I thought you said you cleaned it up.
I said
got
he
that
cut that
Hawaiian
good
grass.
grass.
Okay.
I said
You know, like that
you
crab
said-
grass or something like
Okay.
that.
He's actually a grass cutter with a lawnmower.
Right.
So,
Cut sativa.
So, as a business strategist, going into a small business, service business like that, what would be some things that you would talk to him about initially sitting down?
First thing I do is sit and listen. I'm going to want to survey and see what he's doing.
Okay.
Number one. He may have a lawnmower. He may be cutting grass, but has he set his business up? Do we, you know, is he an LLC? How did he form it? You know, it very well could be not for profit. You know, I'm going to want to know if he has his bank account set up.
Okay.
You know, because you're not in business if you don't have a business bank account.
Right.
What I'm going to also want to know is if he understands his competition. Who's out there, what they're doing, how can you do things better? I'm also going to bring into the discussion, what are some future trends that's going on with grass cutting? You have a lawnmower, but are there other equipment that you can utilize that
Is it ride a lawnmower, make it quicker?
Yeah, absolutely, to help you be more efficient at it. Once we start with those types of discussions, then we can move to other discussions because we need to talk about where you are now and what your future projections are. Where do you see yourself, you know, have you mapped out a whole year worth of your expenses with, you know, what you're netting, what you're grossing or whatever? Where do you see yourself in 3-5 years? Mm-hmm. Do you have a mentor in the business, you know, that could help you bridge the gap and reach that next level?
But what if he comes to you and he's like, listen, you know, I feel you and everything, but I got to pay my bills and I've been cutting grass for 3 years. You know, I'm making, let's say he's making, you know, $3,000 a month and he wants to grow that or double that over the next year. What would be some strategies you would give him to do so?
Absolutely. So we can look at what you're doing day to day. We can also look at diversifying your services. If he's cutting grass, perhaps there's more things that he could do.
Okay.
Offer something that the community would need and want. It could be something simple. And I just thought about this. What about teaching the importance of grass and different types of grass? He may be able to segue into a different field that's related to that.
Education.
Wow.
Right.
So, I mean, that was just something through creativity that I kind of thought of. We think about creative solutions. Secondly, when we talk about expansion, he wants to make more money. If he's a single person cutting grass, then his time is the only amount of time that's.
So he got 2 kids.
Wait.
and
Say it again,
ex-wife.
because
No,
I
I'm
think
just
that's
kidding.
very, very important.
Leverage time.
That you need to expand and hire other people.
Yes.
So you're not always late at appointments and stuff like that.
Yes,
You always
exactly.
got to grab other.
And you got to make sure those people
are qualified.
are working that day and that they didn't have a doctor's appointment and that's why you were running behind
Right.
with those people.
Gotta
You need to leave our
communicate.
engineer alone. This is the
Well,
first
no,
time he's
I
ever
like
late.
we got this
All right.
rapid fire. This is on.
I thought you was talking about.
We're right on the move with this. So if you know, a lot of times it's our baby. We get emotional attachment to the businesses that we open. So it's kind of hard to let our baby loose. You have to have the ability to let things go and allow someone else to pick up the reins. And they may not do it the same way you do it, but part of planning is having a standard. And if you have a standard that you could lay out through an employee handbook, we talk about that also.
But most small businesses don't even have an employee handbook.
Right. Most small business ain't got employees.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? It's usually like them and they're trying to do everything themselves. And that's one of the things that I have learned myself. And one of the downfalls is trying to be the producer, trying to be the salesperson, trying to do the promotions and doing everything yourself because you're so used to doing it all yourself. And like you said, you have it as a baby because you know how you want it.
Right.
Yes.
But with that, sometimes that is your downfall.
Right.
How do you get them to...
The process. But also seeing the dollars and cents of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So like you said, you have an emotional attachment to it.
Mm-hmm.
But we live in a global society. Right. So if you have networked and you found people who are in alignment with your values, right? Because you have to have a mission statement for your agency or your company, your organization. But you also have to have, just like a mission statement, you have to have an expansion plan. So help them put an expansion plan together. And that expansion plan, maybe it involves partnering. It could just be partnering. It could be as simple as partnering.
I have a close client of mine that I want to suggest to them to start taking over other businesses. You know, because they have a great, successful business now.
Right.
But it takes up all of their time. You know, all of their time. And it's like, you know what? If you should start taking over other businesses who are already doing what you do, you know, you might can employ them and it frees up your time. But you grow at the same time.
That's so good.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right, because it was a few people that was actually cutting down a tree right beside my house yesterday. They had little red shirts, and I was like, is that my people? You know, and I did go out there, you know, they didn't speak my language and everything. That's why I was like, are y'all sure y'all don't want friends? You know, but it was a thought of like, you know, what if, because they didn't have the big trucks. You know, and I'm like, but if she went in and just bought that business and said, y'all keep doing what y'all already doing because y'all do a good job, that might can grow, you know, her own individual business.
Yeah.
Win-win.
You know, so that's one of the things that I'm suggesting for Doni Jones.
Oh, that's actually one of the things I want to do is start buying up smaller companies and then rebranding them, you know, up under the umbrella of Don's Tree Service. That's what I really want to do.
So if you got a tree service that's struggling, holla at us. Got you covered.
And we now have a business strategist to make that transition very smooth.
Right, and I get a commission, I think, on that.
I think, because you know.
So holla at us and say you heard it right here on this station. Show me some love. You know?
And you have to incorporate, especially because we're living in a world where the internet rules, right?
It really does.
So you have to brand yourself also. So when you're combining your activities with these other businesses by absorbing them, have to make sure that they're branded properly. And if they're not, that at least they are in alignment with your business values.
Right. Do you notice that a lot of small businesses don't really understand branding? And with that said, can you explain exactly what branding is? Because I think a lot of people don't quite get what that concept is.
I'm just going to sum it up in 2 sentences.
Okay.
Branding is who are you and what are you exactly trying to do?
Okay.
The how comes in, you know, with the strategy, but what do you want the marketplace to know about you?
Right.
What do you want to project into the marketplace? Branding has everything to do with visuals, how you visually have, say, not icons, but your
let's use our lawnmower guy. What would that look like for the little lawnmower guy example we were using?
Okay, so look, right now sustainability rules. We're concerned about global warming, and he may not have thought about sustainable ways or communicating a brand that sustainably cut lawns. What do you do with that grass when you're finished with it? Is it other things you could do with it?
Burn it.
It's other markets that you may be able to tap into. So when you're thinking about branding, what do you want to present? And secondly, is it a value to the market?
Yeah.
I mean, recycled toilet paper, we may not think it is. It is, but it actually might be a thing.
Third world countries.
It actually is.
I'm saying, I understand Bill Gates and them, and y'all gonna think that I'm playing, but Bill Gates and them had that recyclable pee, you know, in the sense where they filter it for countries that have a hard time getting water and stuff like that. They have a filtration system.
I know we're on the radio right now, but I just gotta say this. How did you get a blonde hair on your lip?
I was doing something earlier.
No, I'm serious.
She said, do something to other somebody else and you can get it back.
Dude,
Look. So y'all gonna get me kicked off the radio station. I hugged some people in this station, all right? I hugged some people in this station.
I'm trying to concentrate,
Let it
but
go.
he's got this long. It's like long.
You know what? Just
Finish what you were saying.
You just made me. You was talking about branding. We're gonna go there, and then I'm gonna have to go somewhere else. Sometimes branding doesn't have to be truthful. And understand that Michael Jackson said I was the king of pop. He was the king of pop in a sense. That's one of those things you can't prove, but once he said it, everybody starts saying he's the king of pop.
Okay, I got you. Because I was getting ready to say, I feel like it should be truthful.
Right. But once he put that name out there, nobody else said that. He said that.
Gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Once you put out there who you are, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just that's your branding thing.
It's a call to action.
I guess. I agree 100% with what you said. I guess you scared me because I listened a lot to Gary Vaynerchuk, and he says your branding should be true to who you are. So with Michael, he really believed that he was the king of pop, so therefore he became the king of pop.
He was the king of a lot of little things too. But we're gonna leave that alone. But you know what, Donnie, it's about time to wrap up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm not ready to wrap it up with her yet.
I know, but I want to say something real quick.
Please do.
My little thought for the week, because I think it's not a major one, so you ain't got to get all like, yes, it's gonna be all that good.
I love your motivational.
It's just listening to her, and like last week, the lady who had she had a whole lot of different things with her body that was going on. She had a seizure or something, epilepsy and all that stuff. But God took her through all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I just say that sometimes when you look back over your life,
and
what God brought you all the way through,
come on,
just like any sports game or anything like that, when you hit a home run, you come back to the home plate and you give God a high five.
Yeah.
In a sense, sometimes you got to just take a moment, look over your life, and give God a high five.
Yes.
Like that song with, what's her name, Shirley Caesar, when she started counting, she got beans, potatoes. If you look back and think about all the things that you have, your kids, your job, your spouse, your life, your finances, just take a pause and say, thank you, God, and give him a high five. I think I work with great people. We got great engineers. We interview great people, and I work with Doni Jones. And sometimes I got to take a pause and say, you know what, God, you get a high five.
I love it.
Gratitude.
So yes, gratitude. So anyway, other than that, I ain't got nothing else to say. How do they get in contact with you again? The right phone number. Take your time.
The right phone number.
Slow it down, okay? Just slow it down.
Say your name.
Right.
Marcella Stokes. mstokes@erubrick.com.
There you go.
www.erubrick.
And your number?
404-326-6958.
Now,
and can we find you on social media?
Working on getting my platforms together. What I'm putting together now is a series of classes to teach you how to do strategy.
Y'all can tell when people are seasoned when they say www. Most people just call me at Rubrics. Is Rubrics, right? E-Rubrics. All right, y'all check her out. I'm gonna check her out because I need some love for my church. We need to grow our ministries and everything, and we got to help Doni Jones out with some more tree work and everything.
Yes,
that's how I eat.
That's right.
So we all gonna eat together. But Miss Doni, I love you, and I will see you next time on this wonderful station.
And I love you, and I'll see you next time too. You guys, you're listening to Doni Jones Live.
Yep, with Mardy McFly and Doni Jones.
Yeah.